Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Heather Lewis and today we are going to be doing another furniture flip, but I thought we would put a little bit of a twist to it and do something fun. So I know there's been a trend around here on YouTube where we have your Instagram followers pick what you're doing in a day, and I thought I would try to do the same thing but with my furniture flips. So basically how this is going to work is I'm going to be posting on my Instagram stories and asking if you'd rather I do this or do that, and it'll make more sense as we get into the video. But first things first that we gotta do is go to my storage unit and ask my Instagram followers which dresser I should flip for this video. So with that being said, let's get straight into it and I'll meet you at the storage unit. All right, so we're at our storage unit now. We're gonna open it up and decide which dresser it is that we are going to be doing. Okay, so we are now inside the storage unit here and we have two different options. So I am going to move them so that you guys can see, and I will have my Instagram pick. So I'll get some pictures and I'll have my Instagram pick what pieces it is that we are going to be flipping for today's video. So I'll get back with you in just a second. Okay, so we have the dressers moved now so that you can see each one of them, and I'm going to show you here, and then I'll show you the pictures that I posted onto my Instagram for them to choose which dresser they wanted me to flip in this video. So here is the first one. It is quite a crazy one. It is an oak dresser, super heavy, and it's in pretty good condition, but obviously a little bit outdated. You can see there's some floral stuff there, and it's a little bit dinged up. And then on the other side here is a more of a mid-century modern. Some of the drawers are in the wrong places and you can see that some of the hardware is missing. So that is something that we would have to replace if this one gets chosen. So this one I believe is a veneer piece. It's not actually real wood, but these are the two that you guys are going to be choosing from. So I am going to grab the piece that you guys picked on my Instagram stories, and then I will meet you back at the place so we can see which one we are going to be refinishing today. So it's been a couple hours since I got back from the storage unit and I posted the video on which dresser my Instagram followers want to pick for this video. So hold up, I'm going to screen record on my phone here and show you guys the story first of all. So I thought of this really cool idea, you guys. I am going to be letting you pick which dresser I am going to be flipping next on my YouTube channel. So I am at my storage unit right now and I have a few pieces in my storage unit, but I'm letting you guys choose between two. So in the next slide, I am going to show you a picture of the both of them, and I'm gonna have a poll on there, and I want you guys to choose which one you guys want me to refinish next. All right, and then this is the picture that I put. And you can see that number one, the more oak dresser got 39%, and the more mid-century modern piece, number two, got 61%. And I kind of figured that it was going to be this way. A lot of people really like mid-century modern, so that is going to be the piece that we are flipping for this video. But now that we've done that, we have to figure out what we're going to actually do to it. And I have a few ideas. So I'm going to screen record again so that you guys can see exactly what I am doing. I just told everyone what it is that won, and I got it on my story here, so I'm going to screen record and show you guys. So I posted a picture and I basically just said that this piece won. I kind of figured. Next slide to figure out the design for the piece and go vote. So now that we've done that, I need to create the two images. So I picked that one and that one. So those are the two pieces that I want to recreate with this dresser, and I'm gonna have you guys decide, and then I'm just gonna put that in there so people remember what piece it is that we are going to be doing. And then again, just putting the 1 and 2 so that you guys know what to vote for. 1 and 2. And then of course the poll so you guys can choose. And I'm just gonna say, which design should I do for this piece? And then number 1 and number 2. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. I'm posting that onto my story now, and now I just have to wait. It's a little bit later in the evening, so I'll probably get the results by tomorrow, and then we'll keep on going, and we'll actually start the project depending on what it is that people pick. So I'll get back to you guys in just a little bit. Now the next day, and you all have spoken. I actually thought you guys were gonna do the other way around, but you guys did choose number 1. I will pop it right up here so you guys can see the stats. I believe it was 63 against the loser was 63 winning. So number 1, I wasn't as prepared for this one to win, so I'm trying to figure out what exactly it is that we're doing. I think we're gonna go ahead and go with pole wrap. So now I'm just going to go to the store, pick that up, and I will meet you guys back in the workshop so we can actually get started on this project. So this is the material that we are going to be using for the drawers on this project. Some of you may recognize it because you have it in your home, and it is pole wrap. I was thinking about just doing some like 1-inch trim, but you know, it wasn't like sharp and it had like curves, and I thought it would look weird. So I think this is going to be the best material that we can use to try to get these drawers almost exactly like the other drawers. So the next step in the process is to actually measure out the drawers and start cutting this to size. I wanted to take a second to show you the packaging of the pole wrap in case you wanted to check it out for yourself. I got it at Home Depot for about $65, I believe, so it's a little more expensive, but it's really nice stuff. All right, so we've got it all laid out. It's a big, long sheet of this stuff. And so right now, what I'm going to be doing, I have the first drawer out here, and I'm gonna just kind of mark where the drawer ends. So I wanted to take a second to clarify because I was a bit confused on what I was doing, but I'm using the drawer as a guide for measuring. The width was a little bit bigger than the drawer, but I wasn't too worried about those measurements yet, as I knew I would be able to like snap it off. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a little bit. Then once we were ready to cut, we just laid down some plywood to keep the pole wrap from getting wet in the snow. And I had Avery make all of the cuts with our circular saw because he's more accurate than I am, to be completely honest. But just to let you know, if you were to have a miter saw laying around, that would give you the most accurate cuts. Okay, so now that it's been cut, we're going to measure it to make sure that this is the right size. And again, it's a little bit longer on the ends here. You can see there's just a little bit, but that we can fix later on. So we are good on the top and bottom here. And just for reference, if you're trying this for yourself, this is kind of what we're going for it to look like. Just making sure you can get it as even and as smooth as possible. Those bumps will be glued down, so no need to worry. I also wanted to show you that we tried measuring it this way too, but with all of the grooves, it was super difficult, so we just stuck to using the drawer as a guide and continued to do it from that point on. Now that I have a second piece here, I'm just gonna put it on top of each other to make sure that we're doing the right measurements because we are so new to this. And you can see there's a little imperfection there, but it's not gonna be perfect, and we can always try to fix it up, sanding it a little bit. So right now I would say these are pretty good. And from this point on, it was just a lot of cutting and measuring, and that way we could make sure that we were trying to be as, even as possible. So we have all of the cuts here. There are 14 cuts. Not all of them are perfect, so we might have to switch them out with some of these. That's just kind of what happens when you don't have like a straight cut saw or like a miter saw. So it happens, but we'll just have to fix it with these little pieces. And then we also have this. This was like the leftover remaining, so if we absolutely need it, we can somehow work this into it. So anyways, now that all these are cut, I am going to start sanding down the drawers. I'm not sure if this is a necessary step, but I feel like since we're going to be gluing these on, it might make it a better adhesion if we do scuff sand. So we're going to go ahead and do that on the first drawer and get this on the first drawer. Alright, so we got the first drawer here, and I'm going to be using a medium grit, 120, and I'm just going to scuff it up a little bit. Like I said, this might not be a necessary step, but we're going to do it anyways for extra measure. Alright, and then I'm just taking a paper towel and getting all that extra dust off. And now I'm going in and taking one of my first sheets, and like I said, we did cut these a little bit big. I think I'm going to be able to take off one of these, so I just want to look and see which end is the best. And what I mean I'm going to take one of these off is you can literally like peel one off, like, because these fell off. So you can literally just like scrape it off. This side is looking a little bit worse than this side, so I think what we're gonna do is take this side off. This will show you a little bit better of what it looks like. And I'm just gonna take a blade and try to get it off that way. Hopefully that'll force it to want to come off. Alright, so now this should be pretty good. I had to take my jacket and my hat off because it was getting hot now, but we've got our piece and it is measured to size. So now I am taking some Gorilla Wood Glue. I got the ultimate size. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue around the sides here. So I'm gonna glue on here. Some people might think that I should glue on the actual piece here, but I watched a video on how to apply pole wrap to a pole, and the guy was actually gluing it onto the pole wrap itself. So I'm just gonna try to do exactly what the other guy was doing and hope for the best here. There we go. All right. Now I don't want to put too much because I don't want it to totally overlap, but I don't want to do too little because I want it to stick for a long time. All right, hopefully that'll be enough. And then flip it over and try to get this as straight and even as possible. All right, I'd say that looks pretty good. It might be a little bit overlaying on the side here or on the back side, and if it is, we'll be able to fix that later. But I'm going to take some clamps because I want to try to hold this in place as much as I can. So I'm going to clamp that down, make sure it's still how it needs to be. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay something heavy on it. I've got a paint can here, and I'm gonna set it to the side so it can dry now. Just gonna pull another drawer out. Do the same thing, give it a light scuff band. And then wipe that off. Let's go for the same thing. So I'm just gonna check. And okay, so this one needs to be peeled off. So we're gonna do the same thing. Try to just cut this off. All right. Dust off some more. It's a lot of just making sure your measurements are right. That way it doesn't get screwed up or anything. All right, that looks good. So we're gonna do the same thing with the glue. Clamp it down the best that we can. Then I just grabbed another can. We got tons of those around here, so just gonna let this dry. Okay, so we have 3 drawers done, but I feel like the one clamp and the paint wasn't doing the justice for it. So I went to Lowe's and I picked up these clamps. So I have a lot more because I had like 4 of them, but then I lost one. So I've got these, but you guys, look at these little baby clamps. It is so cute. But anyways, it comes in like a wide variety. So we've got like some small ones and we got some big ones, and we're gonna make this work. I think having more clamps, one on like each side, is gonna be a lot better. So we got what we need now. Also, we are getting to the drawers that still have some of the hardware on it. I didn't take that off before, so we're just gonna go ahead and do that now. is some of like the weirdest hardware I've ever seen, but it's gonna go bye-bye. Okay. So now that we got the clamps, we can get back to the process. Okay, so like this one here, it has it chipped off a little bit. Can you even see me? Right here. This is chipped. So this one is obviously one that is gonna have to go, which is fine. Which is just fine because most of these are in pretty good shape. So. So this one in the middle here is chipped off. So I think what I'm gonna do is just take this much off and then use the other pieces because I don't want that to look bad. Get this one out of here that has a chip on it. That's just garbage. Use these and you won't even be able to tell. Okay, now we have the big boys. So now we got these big ones, and my thought for it is I'm just going to be using the same method, but two of them, because we cut them all size to the small ones. So I think that'll work, and also I didn't realize how messy of a background is behind me. So we're just gonna forget about that and keep going with the flip. Just stay focused up here. There's a lot going on in the back, but when you have a small space, there's not much you can do. So we're up here, the mess is back there. This is how it's gonna be. We're gonna keep going. I'm hoping this is gonna work like how the small ones worked, but I guess it's just gonna be a lot of trial and error. Okay, we got another middle piece here that is kind of ruined, so I'm gonna take this off and hope that we can replace it. Alright, that piece is off and that's trash. We did it. Looking good. Except, other than this one, we are out of the clamps again. So I think we're gonna wait a little bit to do the last 2 drawers, let these first ones dry, and then we'll come back and do the rest. So now in present time, as I am actually editing this, I'm realizing that there was quite a bit of the same footage here. So I feel like you guys understand the idea, and I am just skipping to the last drawer. I only took out 1, so it's not that big of a deal. But now we are just finishing up this step in the process. All right, we have all the drawers with the pull wrap on, so now we just kind of have to wait for everything to dry, and then we can get started into painting. Okay, so we got all the drawers put in right now. By all means, it is not perfect. We've got to fix some of this stuff over here. I don't think I have the drawers in the right place because that top one isn't going in. But we will fix that. But for now, I'm actually going to take all of the drawers out so we can get started on painting the body of the dresser. My Instagram followers have spoken and they want black, so we're gonna be painting this black. With having to do the stuff on the drawers, the prep work has been a little bit backwards, but all I am doing here is just kind of cleaning off the piece and actually taking those drawers out like I said I would. I am using Dawn dish soap to clean this piece off, and I'm also deciding to scuff sand it before I do clean it off. Like on the drawer fronts, I am using a medium grit here, and then as I'm cleaning, I'm using the Dawn dish soap and making sure to rinse that off afterwards with regular water. As you guys know, the poll picked black. You guys wanted black, all my Instagram followers, so we are going to be doing black, and I chose the Caviar from Dixie Belle. I have not yet used Dixie Belle on my channel, but I do really love their products. I think that it goes on smoothly and it has great coverage as well. So I think this is gonna be the perfect time to go ahead and use Dixie Belle. Again, we are doing the top, the sides, and then like drawer slats there, but we're not doing the actual drawer fronts because those have the wood pieces on them. So we are gonna go ahead and get started with Dixie Belle. I'm also not priming this piece. I want to see how this paint holds up without priming. Of course, we still are going to top coat it, but because this is a darker color and it is a veneer piece, I am not worried about any bleed through or anything like that. So I think we'll be just fine skipping the priming stage and going straight into the painting. And if something goes wrong, then I'll know I should have primed. Looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and do a second coat off camera for you guys, and then we'll get into the top coat. All right, you guys, it has been about a week later since we got that second coat of paint on, and now we are ready for the top coat. But I do want to catch you guys up on the polls on Instagram. The next thing that I had you guys pick was the hardware, and I'm gonna pop the poll up right here. The top set of polls actually won at 59%, so it was pretty close. They are very similar, but I didn't want to do something that would go in the middle of the drawer because I didn't want it to split the wood. So I gave you guys a little bit of a variety, but you know, it was still kind of similar in a way, but the top one did win. So in the next clip, you guys are gonna see me putting on the top coat, and then of course, once it comes to the hardware, I usually kind of like wait until the final reveal for you guys so that you don't know exactly what it looks like. So anyways, let's get into the top coat. This is the top coat that we are going to be using, the clear matte polyacrylic. I like to make sure to mix in a little bit of the color to prevent cloudiness, especially for these dark pieces, and that is exactly what I did. And now we are just going to get started on applying this top coat. Now that we're just finishing up the top coat, we are getting close to the end, and I just want to say to my Instagram followers, you guys did a great job picking what we were going to do for this piece. I think it turned out beautiful. By all means, it is not perfect, and I think the kind of wood slats from the pole wrap isn't as even as I would like it to be, but unfortunately I couldn't do too much about it because I don't have a miter saw. So if you want to attempt something like this, I would definitely make sure you have one of those. I think it would have turned out even more even if I did, but considering this being my first time doing it, I'm gonna take it as a learning curve and be happy with how it turned out regardless of the minor imperfections. So no need to come at me in the comments saying that it is not absolutely perfect, because I do know that, but I definitely learned a lot from this project. Now, with all that being said, if you guys like this type of content, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe down below. And let me know in the comment section if you think you would like this type of series where my Instagram followers pick what I do for flips, because this has definitely been one of the most fun flips and videos I have done yet. But otherwise, I think it's finally time that we get into the final reveal. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.